How to Win Friends and Influence People. A great book for getting people to like you, but not a great book for getting people or women to respect you. This was one of the greatest books written of all time for social skills, social anxiety, getting better talking to people, getting better at business, just building better relationships. I went a lot of years using a lot of these principles where they should not be used. I do not want to discredit Dale Carnegie. I think his work is very influential. I think it is great. I think it is correct. I just feel as if when this book was written, it didn't go over when and where this information should and should not be used. As I just said, if some of your goals and your journey to become a better speaker and journey to become more well-liked involve getting people to respect you and getting better at women, there are some things you need to be careful of in this book. Women, for example. I have read this book multiple times in and out, as you should have as well. It even says it in the beginning of this book. Read this book twice to really get all the information out of it. You should have done that. If you didn't, fucking do it again. First, listen to this though. There's a chapter in this book about conversationalism and how to be a good conversationalist. Carnegie goes over this story about how he was at a house party and he was trying to not win their respect, but win the approval of a woman at this party, and the way he described how he did it was just to listen to her speak the entire time only about herself, be attentive, and ask good questions. And it worked. At the end of the conversation, the lady praised him for being a good conversationalist, and it really seemed as if the woman liked him. Great. What he was trying to teach you was how to be liked, and he did convey how to do that over properly. But I feel like back then when this book was written, they weren't really too worried about how to pull a woman, or respect was a thing, but they weren't necessarily talking about how to get a man to respect you or a woman to like you in a higher level than just friendship. If that's what you're trying to do, there's a different route you need to take. Nothing Dale did was wrong. I am just helping people who read this book for the same reasons that I did, and am now realizing years later this book is good, but not for all areas of life. I use that tactic, be a good conversationalist, to get people to like you, to try and get people to respect me, and trying to get women to like me on an intimate level. Getting women just to like you, or getting men just to like you by listening to them, is not a way to gain respect. People like a man who listens to his or her opinions. People respect a man who has his own opinions and believes in his own ideas. That's what this book does not teach you. There are other books we will go over in the future that do teach you how to do that, but I spent a lot of years applying some of these principles to some areas where they should not be applied to. Let's take that same situation where Carnegie was trying to teach us how to be liked. Let's say the chapter was different. Let's say the chapter was how to be seen as a potential mate for this woman at this party, instead of just how to be liked by this woman at this party. How he would have gone about the conversation would have been not just listen attentively and ask good questions, but listen attentively, have your own opinions, and pick her brain about the situation. Don't just agree with everything she's saying. Stir it up a little bit. Ask her things, poke holes in what she's talking about, get her to think about it. That's what would make her respect you. That's what she would respect, you having your own opinions, even if she didn't necessarily agree with all your opinions. And the same goes for men or women you're trying to gain the respect of as well. Of course, apply these principles and trying to gain the respect of people whose respect you want, but also remember, be your own person, have your own ideas. Don't just agree with someone. Agreeing with someone constantly, yeah, they'll like you, but they're not going to remember you. People remember someone who held different opinions than them and held different outlooks on things and sounded confident in speaking that with them. People remember people who are able to change their mind. People don't remember people that agree with them. There's no reason to. There's no reason for them to self-analyze and wonder and figure out if the person they just talked to was correct or not. They agreed, so out of sight, out of mind. There's no reason to try and convince this person of any other reason. They agreed. No need to think about it anymore. It works vice versa, both ways, with women and men. Be memorable. Great book for being liked, and in some areas maybe not the best for being memorable and being respected, but still, overall, great book.